Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, I'm going to be talking about self-love. Now, what's interesting about this subject is that so many people will preach self-love, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. At the same time, self-love is not always the end to all means for solving problems. People will preach this constantly, and and it's funny that I don't know how many of you concur or agree with this or disagree, but it seems like a lot of these people that will be talking about this, they have a very good life, they have a flourishing career, they make a prodigious income, a lot of these people. And what's funny is some people that say this will be somewhat hypocritical. It was funny, one time somebody suggested self-love to me, but the same person that said this intimated that she wouldn't really consider me as somebody to go out with due to my lower level income, and she wanted somebody that would be closer to her income level. So really, the thing is, some people will tell you to love yourself, but yet those same people that may be unattached will not, a lot of times those people won't even give you an opportunity to be loved by them. So really, to me, the self-love, I'd like to see how many people that would talk about self-love if they're in an impoverished situation, or they don't really have much funds, or their life is really not going exactly as according to plan. Now, I do understand about self-love. I do believe that, it can help some people. I'm not saying it's something, I'm not saying it's something that wouldn't be effective at all. But the thing about it is, when somebody's in a situation where they're in destitute, or they're in an impoverished situation, or they're really their life is just really such where they really don't want to be, their stature of life is much lower than average, and somebody will hint that they need self-love. Well, the thing about that too is, when you tell somebody that, you're essentially saying that you think that they don't love themselves. You're making an automatic, like, this conclusion to that. So to me, that really is not right. It's like you be casting a judgment on someone that a lot of times that you'll barely know. And I think that's what bothers me when people will say it. I can understand if somebody would put like a generic message on their wall on Facebook or something, and they just wanted to convey a message to just people in general. But it's really hard to single out individuals, I think, and understand whether they and try to ascertain whether they love themselves or not. Now, especially if you don't really know them that well, if you just know the person superficially, I think it makes it kind of difficult. Now, if you know somebody that really, you know them intimately, or you really have a close personal connection with them, and you just want to give them some constructive advice or insight, I could understand that completely. And most of the time when people say this, it's not malicious. I understand that they're just trying to reach out and help somebody. But when you talk about self-love, and you tell somebody that, especially when you don't really know them that well, it's very easy to take offense to. I have taken offense to it sometimes, because I felt like it was said to me in a way where it was intimated that I didn't love myself. All I could say is, as far as people loving themselves, probably a lot of people do need to love themselves more. I respect and understand that. I feel I'm pretty objective about my positive attributes and my negative ones as well. There may be some things I love about myself. There's a few things I may not love about myself, in all honesty. But at the same time, I think it goes for most of us. I don't know if there's really that many people that can make that claim that they love everything about themselves. But the thing about it is, when somebody, one person had said the thing about the self-love to me, and what I explained to her was the fact that the reason I didn't have anyone as significant other in my life, it hadn't, at least in my opinion, it had nothing to do whether I love myself or not. It was because I was at a lower level income, and honestly, from a material standpoint, I did not, and probably still don't, have much to offer someone. So that's really what that's about. It didn't have anything to do with whether I love myself or not. Even if I didn't, I felt that was very irrelevant to as far as why I'm in the situation I'm in, and why I'm in being single in all these years, and considering my age. That's to me is really, I think sometimes people are very quick to make a judgment on somebody, or even an assessment or what have you, and that's really what I'm trying to convey in this. And really, a person that, I mean, I think there'll be some people that will actually dedicate their lives so much to showing so much love and compassion to other people. Maybe they, in certain ways, they may not love themselves as much as they should, because they're so dominated sometimes by other people's needs, and when it comes time to take care of themselves, they don't always have all that energy to really maybe do that for themselves. And I think that's a lot of why some people just don't have as much self-love as they possibly can. So anyway, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on the subject. And the thing too is that, I mean, when you tell somebody that they need self-love, I mean, that sometimes that could really be hurtful to a person. And really, I think the way to do it, you have to go about things in a way where if you don't really know the person that well, I don't really think that's a good thing to say to somebody. What you do is, if you want to help them, you reach out to him or her, and you just do things through actions that are advantageous to the person. But I really don't recommend saying that to people. And really, that's just what I wanted to say about it. I mean, unless you actually, now if you know the person very well, and you have very strong reason to believe that that is the reason, maybe they're going through some misery or what have you, then perhaps that could be something you may want to say. But it's something that I don't think, if a person doesn't really know somebody that well, that's really not the thing to tell them. And I understand, as I stated before, it's not malicious, but that's really probably not something that needs to be said to a person. And I'm just voicing my own opinion on it. Well, anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube segment about self-love. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.